Welcome to XIO Voice. Continuing from the previous episode 201, Xiao Yan's eyes were locked on the sky of the Holy Pill City inner region. It was a long while later before he slowly withdrew his eyes. He rubbed his forehead with his hand. Xiao Yan's head was currently feeling a little giddy due to the terrifying cry from earlier. It is indeed worthy of being the Pill Tower. There is such a frightening expert. Xiao Yan softly sighed. He let out a bitter laugh. The owner of that cry earlier did not even reveal a figure, yet it had shattered Xiao Yan's soul with just mere words. This strength was likely something that only some Tier 8 alchemists could achieve. Xiao Yan gradually withdrew his mind. His gaze swept around him, and he immediately became dull because the courtyard was currently filled with a kind of freshness. Tender, green grass protruded from the ground, dyeing the withering yellow ground with a great amount of life. What's this? Xiao Yan frowned. He clearly remembered this place being old and damaged where wild grass grew in clusters during the day, yet why had there been such a drastic change? Could it be because of what happened earlier? Xiao Yan suddenly pondered the change after this idea appeared in his heart. Earlier, he had been guided by this starry sky, and he seemed to have vaguely entered a mysterious state. Xiao Yan shut both of his eyes slightly the moment he thought of this. A moment later, he suddenly opened them. There was some shock and joy that was difficult to hide within his eyes. The spirituality that is within my soul seems to be much denser when compared to before. Xiao Yan was extremely unfamiliar with this so-called soul state. He did not know how he could strengthen the spirituality within his soul. Hence, he could only rely on occasionally entering a unique condition in order to improve. However, such a condition was something that he could only encounter but not seek out. Other than the time when he had refined pills until he had gone crazy, it had only appeared tonight. Regardless of what the case was, the growth of the spirituality within Xiao Yan's soul was considered a good matter to him. Based on this speed, it is likely that I will be able to advance to that so-called soul state if I enter a mysterious condition a couple more times. If that is the case, I will be confident during this pill gathering. Xiao Yan slowly stretched his lazy waist after having sensed the comfort from the spirituality that filled his soul. All this while, he was having greedy thoughts. While Xiao Yan was feeling joyous over the increase in the spirituality within his soul, there was information flowing within an empty space in the distant inner region of the Holy Pill City. After which, the information was exchanged. There is someone who peeped into the star region earlier. However, it was fortunate that he did not wake the 3000 burning flame. Otherwise, there would have been some trouble again. An elderly voice slowly sounded within the emptiness. Have you discovered who it was? No, however, this person's spiritual strength is quite strong. Based on my guess, he is likely a Tier 8 alchemist who had stepped into the soul state. Could it be someone from the Hall of Souls? They are really interested in the 3000 burning flame. Based on some information I've obtained, the Hall of Souls will dispatch someone to join this pill gathering. If they are allowed to obtain a spot in the top 10, it is likely that they will act on the 3000 burning flame. A low, uncertain voice suddenly sounded. I don't know. Although I have shattered the soul of the person peeping in, it was merely a wisp of soul. It did not cause much harm to the actual person. Strengthen the defenses a little. The 3000 burning flame will become stronger as it absorbs the light from the stars. It is impossible for us to continue sealing it. However, its grudge is very great. Once the seal is undone, it is likely that the entire Holy Pill City will be destroyed by it. It will be the best if someone can subdue it. Of course, the one who subdues it must not be someone like a member of the Hall of Souls. Quite a number of alchemists' souls in this continent have landed in their hands. Those fellows from the Hall of Souls, what exactly are they planning to do? They have captured so many spiritual bodies. Oh, I feel a little uneasy. The space descended into a silence after this person spoke. It is rumored that even Yao Chen has landed in the hands of the Hall of Souls. The silence continued for a while before a low, deep old voice slowly sounded. Yao Chen, huh? What a distant name. Oh, originally, he should also have a seat among us three great heads of the Pill Tower. However, his mind is not here. Those fellows from the Hall of Souls are really overboard. I think that you have all heard of the big battle within the Pill region some time earlier. It is rumored that there is someone among them who is Yao Chen's disciple. Ha ha, Yao Chen's disciple, huh? I really wish to meet him. By being able to be selected by that extremely picky fellow to be a disciple, it is likely that he possesses quite outstanding abilities. I wonder just how he will compare with the Cao clan and the Dan clan. Those two are of a monster-like class. Based on their momentum, they will very likely possess the qualification to be the next great heads of the Pill Tower a century later. Ah! Forget it. There is no need to be bothered about anything else. The pill gathering is about to start. We should organize it properly. As for the Hall of Souls, they might be strong, but they cannot do as they like. If any soul-stirring conspiracies are uncovered, the Gu clan and some of the hidden ancient factions will not allow them to do as they like. Currently we just need to prevent the 3,000 burning flame from landing in the hands of the Hall of Souls. Let's scatter first. Be more attentive during this period of time. Yes. After this voice sounded, the conversation between the great heads of the Pill Tower slowly ended in this illusionary space. When the little fairy doctor woke up from her deep sleep the next morning, she was a little startled upon seeing the scene of spring within the courtyard. You have awakened? Xiao Yan, who was training on a large rock, also opened his eyes at this moment. He looked at the little fairy doctor, smiled and asked. The little fairy doctor slightly smiled. She stood up and the black robe on her body rolled down. Her body vaguely trembled upon seeing the robe. After which, she squatted down and picked up the black robe. Her hand gently rubbed the robe as a warmth flashed across her grayish-purple eyes. Mr. Xiao Yan, have you woken up? An elderly voice sounded from outside the courtyard. Yi Zong's figure appeared at the door. He involuntarily smiled when he saw Xiao Yan and the little fairy doctor inside. Xiao Yan leapt down from the stone and asked with a grin, Are we about to leave? Yi Zong nodded and replied, Let's go. I will bring you to the test location of the Pill Tower to get a tier badge that is recognized by the Pill Tower. The little fairy doctor and the rest can remain here. They need not follow this time around. The little fairy doctor hesitated for a moment upon hearing this. She looked at Xiao Yan. Only when he tilted his head did she softly utter, The both of you should be careful. Xiao Yan smiled. His eyes interacted with Yi Zhong for a moment before turning around and heading out of the Yi Manor. Xiao Yan followed Yi Zhong. They walked for around 10 minutes after leaving the Yi clan before they finally stopped in front of an ancient stone tower in the outer city of the Holy Pill City. A countless number of alchemists were coming and going outside of this stone tower. The noise transformed into numerous waves that spread apart. This is a branch tower that the Pill Tower has established. It is similar to the branch associations of some empires' alchemist association. Yi Zhong led Xiao Yan as they followed the human flow into the ancient stone tower while he softly explained. Xiao Yan swept his gaze around the interior of the stone tower after entering. The interior was unexpectedly spacious and was not smaller than the headquarters of the Alchemist Association in the Jia Ma Empire. At this moment, the interior of the tower had quite a number of alchemists wearing various alchemist robes that represented different tiers as they shuffled around the tower. The north of the tower is a transaction area. Many alchemists will exchange medicinal ingredients, medicinal pills, etc. that they need there. Yi Zhong pointed to the north of the tower after describing the makeup of the tower. However, there is usually nothing good in this place. In 2 days' time, the Holy Pill City will have a special auction. That auction is one where alchemists can trade with each other. Only those alchemists recognized by the Pill Tower have the qualification to participate in it. We can perhaps make a trip there. Quite a number of rare items frequently appears in that place. Xiao Yan lifted his eyebrows upon hearing this. An auction that was completely made up of transactions between alchemists was really quite rare. However, he was indeed a little interested in this. Moreover, even if he could not find the things he needed there, he would gain some exposure from it. Ha ha, follow me. The southern area is where the tier recognition is being held. Yi Zhong smiled. He turned his body and walked to the south. Xiao Yan also swiftly followed. By the time Xiao Yan and Yi Zhong arrived at the test area, there was already a long queue there. Yi Zhong slightly frowned upon seeing this. He said to Xiao Yan, You should wait here for a while. I will try to use some connections. If we continue to wait in this manner, it is likely that we will not be able to finish the test today. Xiao Yan nodded. His eyes sent off Yi Zhong's back. After which, he habitually took a step back. Immediately, he sensed his back collide with a softer body. Oh! A soft exclamation sounded behind Xiao Yan. He hurriedly turned around and saw a young lady had fallen on the ground after colliding with him. He extended his hand in a lightning-like fashion and grabbed the young lady. Don't! The young lady hurriedly cried out when she saw that Xiao Yan was grabbing at her. However, her voice was a little late. Xiao Yan's hand had already reached her arm with lightning-like speed. Before he could use any force, however, his expression had become horrified. This was because he realized that the spiritual strength lingering between his eyebrows was gushing out and beginning to show signs of surging into the body of this young lady. Xiao Yan violently bit the tip of his tongue. He released his hand as though he had suffered from an electric shock. After which, he took 2 steps back with some lingering fear. His eyes were shocked as he looked at the small, pale-faced, young lady in front of him. There was a badge on the chest of this young lady. The badge was a circular drawing that appeared like a medicinal pill. Someone from the Dan clan?